Hey everyone, and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Joel. I'm now a third semester nurse student at Imperial Valley College, and for today's video is going to be why do we fail? So this is pretty much a general aspect about why do we fail. But I actually read in multiple books about failing and why people fail that I really came to this conclusion. I was like, damn, like I think this is a really, really important reason of why people are failing. Like, you know, the roots, the stem about it. And I'm just gonna say it, and then I'm gonna explain. I'm gonna justify myself. So what I came up with is that we give up what we want the most for what we want now. So I don't really think that people fail because they're dumb or they're ignorant or they're X, Y, and Z. They're not competent. I do think that in the habits that they have, you know, maybe like instead of studying, they rather go out with their friends. Instead of studying, they rather play online. You know, they give up what they want the most, which is nursing school, medical school, engineering school, whatever major they have, for what they want right now. You know, the feeling of you know, pleasure or whatever, going out with their friends and stuff. You know, they rather leave that, their goals, because it's like long term, right? It's not like you're gonna graduate next week. You know, it's a process. So you really don't want to do that because you really don't see any results or any satisfaction. You rather just go for a short term satisfaction, and you're gonna feel like good for a moment, right? So if you start doing it time to time, then you're gonna be like, honestly, you know, I failed, and oh my god, and you're gonna be blaming X, Y, and Z. But it's kind of like those decisions that you made of short-term satisfaction that made you fail. So, and that is a really big hit, and I definitely have seen it a lot with very, very close people that I used to hang around with. Because if you would see them, you would be like, damn, like this person is definitely going to go really, really far. And then once they go into like their competitive school that they wanted to go into, and they saw really what they had to sacrifice, I feel that they masked it in a sense that it was like, oh, it's because of my mental health or stuff like that. When in reality, I felt that it was more towards, you know, I rather not do this and be really stressed about it and go to a different thing where I can still earn fairly well. But I don't really have to break my head too much because this is really not fun, and I'd rather do things that are fun and then do my new major or new technical stuff. But you know, I don't need to sacrifice anything for it. And you know, it really takes a lot of observation to say something like that. But I really feel that because I've seen it multiple times, and when I ask them indirectly, they indirectly agree that, you know, it's like I you know, I'm young and I rather enjoy my life instead of being stressed, and you know, also have a job or a good major also, but it's not like this other major that I just dropped from engineering school or medical school, nursing school, whatever, to this other major or career. You know, it's really not going to be that much satisfying to a sense, or it's really not going to be a really good economic or really good job like, you know, the other school that I dropped. But you know, I'm still going to be happy in a sense, and you know, I can go out and enjoy my youth and stuff. So it's kind of like, you know, you really wanted this other thing, and you knew you had to sacrifice a lot of things, but when the time came, you were like, I really don't want to sacrifice it. You know, I'd rather just, you know, go to a different thing. So that's the thing. And with me, it also has happened before where I wanted to do something where it was like starting my website, which I did finish it eventually, but it took me a while. It literally took me a pandemic to get into it. When the pandemic occurred, I pretty much got it done in like less than a year. But beforehand, when I was like kind of like sketching it out and stuff like that, you know, I really didn't want to pay too much attention towards it because I was like, you know, there's really isn't a rush or anything, and I'd rather enjoying the company of my girlfriend, the company of my friends, the company of like, you know, X, Y, and Z. the short-term satisfaction than the actual thing I really wanted to do, which was doing a website to help students pass their tests with a really high score and increase their probability or their chances of going to nursing school. And I feel like I'm a really good tutor in the areas that are going to be tested on the test, so it was like a no-brainer for me to do a website of me teaching, in a sense, like the topics that can come into that exam, and you can be better prepared. So it was kind of like having like a tutor 24/7 in a sense, because everything was there in the website. So everything was genuine and I really liked it, but it was like I'd rather have the short-term satisfaction than like the long-term satisfaction in a sense. And I can just go on and on about how I failed in some stuff, and not because I was not competent or not because I wasn't disciplined, or in a sense you can say that I was not competent or disciplined, because competent people would, they would not go towards that trap of like, short-term satisfaction versus long-term satisfaction. But for me, it was like every time I failed, I really asked myself, why is it that you failed? Is it because you prefer to do a different thing than studying, and that's why you got that lower score? Or was it genuinely like you actually worked really hard and the exam was like really, really hard? And 8 out of 10 times is because I rather do something else than study, and that's why I got that score. So it's like, but it's like, I feel like it's a truth, or it's a really deep truth that people don't want to look, because then they really can't blame other people about it. And I'm really blunt about it. When someone asks me about my opinion about this or that, and they really genuinely want me to be 100% honest, I would tell them straight up, like, I really feel you did it because of this and this and this, based on this, this, and this. And then they're like, damn, like, I didn't really want to admit that. And it's like, I mean, it's pretty obvious, if you actually really, really think about it. So yeah, I really think that's the reason why we fail, the big reason. And again, like, that was a thought that I had beforehand, to say like 2019 per se. But then in 2020, when like the pandemic occurred, or actually before the pandemic, because I actually started reading books from January of 2020, because that was like my New Year's resolution. I started reading a lot of psychological books about like failure and how to overcome like a lot of your emotions and not being conquered by your emotions. A lot of like self-help books in a sense, and dealing with failure, stuff like that. And a lot of them like really went towards that route, and I was like, damn, like maybe it's not a thing that I thought. Maybe it's an actual thing that people don't really want to talk about, because they don't want to feel that it's their fault, in a sense, or 100% their fault. So yeah, that's pretty much what I think why people fail. So if you've definitely failed in that category, if you felt like this suited you in a way, now you know. So now you are able to open your eyes in a sense and really understand the reasons why you're failing, or why you're probably going to fail, and you can shape up and move on, okay, and fix yourself before it's too late. So yeah, so you guys stood here until the end of this video. Thank you so much, guys, for watching, and I'll see you guys into the next video. Bye.